What's up? Let's start our lesson now. Balancing of sodium hydroxide and sulfuric acid gives rise to sodium sulfate plus water. So how to balance this chemical equation? What's the chemical equation here? So the chemical equation is sodium hydroxide NaOH plus H2SO4 gives rise to Na2SO4 plus H2O. Okay, this is unbalanced equation. This unbalanced equation now we are going to balance. What's the balancing? Balancing means it is the according to law of conservation of mass. What's the law of conservation? LCM, law of conservation of mass. Mass neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can changing from one form to another form. So according to this law, so the number of atoms on reactant side should be equal to the number of atoms on product side. That means how many atoms are participating in the chemical equation or chemical reaction, that much of atom should be formed as a products. This is the balancing of chemical equation. Now how to balance the chemical equation? There is a small method is there, very easy method is there. What's the method? Let's see. On the number of atoms, it is the unbalanced reaction. Actually this is the unbalanced reaction. Now how to balance it? Let me explain the balancing. So on left hand side, how many atoms are there, and on right hand side, so the atoms are balanced or not. So let us check the balance first. So first of all, on LHS, how many sodiums are there? So the sodium here, sodium atom is 1. So next, oxygen atoms. How many oxygen atoms are there? So the oxygen atoms, so here 1, this is the 1 and 4, 5 atoms are there. So the 5 atoms. Next, how many hydrogens? So hydrogen atoms. Hydrogen atom here 1 plus 2, 3 atoms. So 3 atoms are there. Now sulfur atoms. How many sulfur atom? Only single atom. This is the left hand side atoms. So on right hand side, so the sodium atoms are 2 and oxygen atoms, 4 plus 1, 5. Oxygen atoms are 5 and hydrogen atoms here, hydrogen atom 2, hydrogen atoms are 2 and sulfur atoms are 1. Now you can clearly observe that it is unbalanced equation. It is an unbalanced equation. Why? Here sodiums are 1 on left hand side, but on right hand side sodiums are 2. That's why they should be equate first. How can you equate it? First of all, we have to write the coefficient 2 in before the sodium hydroxide molecular formula. So that's why now let's see the equation now. What's the equation here? Let's see the equation. We have to keep the coefficient before the sodium hydroxide formula. That means the second step. What's the second step here? 2 NaOH plus H2SO4 gives rise to sodium hydroxide Na2, sodium sulfate Na2SO4 plus H2O. This now we equating sodium on both sides. Here the two sodium atoms Na, 2 sodium atoms, and here also 2 sodium atoms. Now the sodium atoms are balanced, but what about remaining atoms? Again we have to see the check the balancing. How to check it? Yes, right. LHS. On LHS side, how many atoms? And RHS side, how many atoms are there? So on LHS side, again sodium. So sodium atoms are 2. And oxygen atoms. Oxygen atoms are, how many oxygen atoms are there? Say 2 oxygen atoms, here 4 oxygen atoms. So 6 oxygen atoms are there. Next, how many hydrogen atoms? So here 2 hydrogen, 2 ones are 2. 2 hydrogen plus 2 hydrogen, 4 hydrogen atom. Now the sulfur atoms are, how many sulfur atoms are there? 1 sulfur atom. Now on right hand side we have to check it. Suppose on right hand side sodium atoms are here 2, and oxygen atoms 4 plus 2 6. Okay, oxygen atoms are balanced. And hydrogen atoms, so hydrogen atoms here 2 plus 2 only, but 2 only, and sulfur atoms are 1. See, sodiums are equated and oxygens are balanced, but hydrogens are not balanced, and sulfurs are balanced. That's why we have to balance the hydrogen atoms now. So that is the third step. So let's see what's the third step here. So the we have to write the third step here. So what's the third step? Now 2Na NaOH. So let's see the third step now. What's the third step? Third step is 2NaOH, 2NaOH, okay, plus sulfuric acid H2SO4 is gives rise to Na2SO4 plus 2H2O. Yeah, we have to put 2 before the formula of hydrogen monoxide. This is water molecule. Then, so the hydrogens are balanced. Here hydrogens are 4 hydrogens, but here hydrogens are 2. That's why we have to put the 2 coefficient before the water molecular formula. So that water formula. Then we put 2 in front of H2O. Then we have to check again the balancing of this chemical equation. Now again LHS side. On LHS side, what's the LHS on LHS side? How many atoms are there? And RHS side, how many atoms are there? Let us see. So we can write here sodium atoms. Sodium atoms are 2. And oxygen atoms are 2 ones are 2 plus 4, 6 oxygen atoms. And hydrogen atoms are 2 ones are 2 plus 2, 4 atoms. And sulfur atoms 1. And on right hand side, what's the right hand side again? Sodium atoms. That means sodium atoms means here only 2 sodium atoms are there. How many sodium atoms are there? 2 sodium atoms. That means sodium atoms are 2. And oxygen atoms, how many are there? 4 plus 2, 6 oxygen atoms are balanced. Hydrogen atoms, 2 2s are 4, hydrogen atoms are 4. Okay, so sodiums are balanced, and oxygens 6 on both sides balanced, hydrogens 4 both sides balanced, and sulfur on both sides 1. So all are balanced. That means this is the balanced equation. Therefore 2NaOH plus H2SO4 sulfuric acid gives rise to Na2 sodium sulfate, Na2SO4 plus 2H2O. This is the balanced equation. This is what we call, this is the balanced equation.